Welcome everyone, I'm Ricky from Tech Talk and today we'll be taking a look at a new Apple product. So we haven't had too many Apple products on the channel and I am a fan of Apple, but I like to vary everything that we see here on the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new iPod Touch, and this is their 7th generation. So I can't believe they've actually been 7 generations of this device. So I've gone back and had a look through. The nearest one I've got is actually the 6th generation one here, and we'll be doing a bit of a comparison a little bit later on. So the last iPod Touch actually came out in 2015, so 4 years ago. So let's see what's new with the iPod Touch 7th generation 2019. So on the front here, we've just got our display here showing you all the apps there, and it's using iOS 12, but obviously it will get the push to iOS 13. And I think that's why they released this model, because they needed a more powerful model to actually run iOS 13. So like I said, the iPod Touch 6th generation is actually running iOS 11. Now I've just bumped it up to iOS 12, and that one won't be able to run iOS 13, but this model will do. So Apple's saying this is fun at full speed, and they've updated the processors inside, which we'll talk about. So like I said, on the front here you get to see a home screen. On the side you've just got iPod Touch, and you can see I've got the gold color here. They do have 6 different options in color, being space gray, blue, pink, red, silver and gold. I chose to go for the gold design as I like their new latest gold color that they are using. So on the top you do have your Apple logo, and you do have a bright green sort of indicator here how to just release a bit of tape that's holding it securely. So once that's come off, it will fold over. So tucked underneath that is another bit of tape then that pulls off this picture here and reveals your iPod. So slightly pull this further back and that will release the iPod. So designed by Apple in California, that's underneath. So take off the top tray. So underneath you're going to find all of your extras. So first of all, you're going to get some iPod Touch guides here. So let's have a look at these. So in your packaging, you've got your iPod Touch fingertip guide here, just showing you uses the lightning connection, your dedicated home button, your volume controls, and then also your power button. And on the back you just have a bit more information. It comes in another language, which is a little bit odd to see. Normally don't get that. Then you've got iPod Touch user guides, and then again in a different language. Yeah, and then finally we've got some Apple stickers. Didn't realize they still added the Apple stickers into an iPod. So underneath here we have our USB-A to lightning connection to sync and charge our iPod through our MacBook or PC. So I actually chose the base model for this one was 32 gigabytes. The previous generation was 16 gigabytes. So you have a lot more storage here to add music, apps, games, TV shows, movies, books, whatever you want onto this. So using that cable you can sync over from your iTunes on PC or Mac, or you can download from the App Store or iTunes Store. You also get Apple headphones, and these ones actually come with the 3.5 connection here. That's because these models of iPod Touch actually still have the headphone jack down here at the bottom. So 3.5mm headphone jack, which is really good to see. So what we're going to do is power on our iPod here, and we're going to go through the setup stage. So taking a look at our iPod here, it is a quite small screen compared to what we're used to. It is a 4-inch retina display, which is really helpful. So at the top there is a little power button here, which we're going to power on. Turning around to the back, you're going to see this gold color. I do like this effect from Apple. It's a little bit less sort of in your face compared to the other gold options that they have. You do have a single camera on the back there with a flash. You have the Apple logo and iPod. Then also you do have a little bit here for the Wi-Fi signal to come through. So coming around, we should be all booted up now, which we are, and we can go through the setup stage. So we're going to fly through this a little bit quickly. So one thing to point out here that I always find frustrating is that Apple doesn't add any accessibility options right at the beginning. This is really frustrating. I don't understand why they're the only major company that's out there at the moment that doesn't provide that, and that's really disappointing to see. So we're going to choose English here, select your country or region, and at the top here it's given us United Kingdom. Yep, that's correct. So you can use the quick start here, which we're actually going to use, and I'm going to bring in my iPad, and it's going to do a quick start and send all of my information over, or you can choose to actually set up manually. So then you're going to get this little bubble here that you'll need to use the camera to search with to find. So with my iPad here, we're just going to find that bubble, So a bit like the Apple Watch there. It's going to send all of my information over. It asked me for a passcode from my iPad just so transfer of information can happen and make sure it was done correctly. So this will transfer over information. It will need me to fill out a couple of extra bits, but it saves going through manually and importing everything manually. So data policy, yep, that's all okay. So what's new with this iPod Touch? So this has the A10 Fusion chip, which was first used in the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. So a few generations back, but it does have an improvement on the original A8 chip that was in the previous generation of the iPod Touch 6th generation. The A10 Fusion chip brings up to twice the performance and 3 times better graphics to the new iPod Touch. While still delivering great battery life, it powers augmented reality games and it makes everything you do feel faster and more fluid. So now it's saying about our apps and data. We can restore from an iCloud backup, restore from an iTunes backup, set up as a new iPod Touch, or move data from Android. We're going to set up as a new iPod Touch. It's still going to bring over the information that I need though. So like I said, this is going to be up to 2 times faster performance compared to the previous model. Agree to location. We're going to use Siri as well. Welcome to your iPod. So there we go. We're all set up and we're ready to go now. And one thing I like is they match the background to the actual iPod color, which is really nice thing to have here. So we've got white and gold. And then you've got that nice gold on the back here as well, which is really nice. It ties in really well. So like I said, up to 2 times faster performance, up to 3 times faster graphics compared to the previous generation. So let's just bring in that previous generation here. On the left is the brand new iPod Touch, and on the right is my older generation, which is the 6th generation. As you can see, there's actually not much differences at all. Come around to the back, there's a little bit of difference here in the color options that we've had. And also that flash looks alike. No, it looks exactly the same here. So putting them color by color and side by side. Looks a little bit thinner, maybe. We'll have to have a look. We'll delve in a little bit more. Both using lightning connections on the bottom, and both have that headphone jack as well, which is really handy to see. And it's nice that it's keeping that headphone jack for you. You don't have to have a dongle all the time or an adapter. The choice is yours. But we'll delve into that one a little bit later. So it has the ability to play AR games, which is really good. So AR, augmented reality games, is where you can sort of see furniture in a certain location with stuff. You can see stuff on your desk. AR games where it sort of brings it into your world and you can enjoy it in your world. We're seeing your background, but there's something over the top of it, which is really fun. So it has a 4-inch retina display, so it is quite small compared to what we're used to now with other Apple products. As you can see here, we're running iOS 12 and it's been updated, and we can update it to the latest firmware as well. If I slide up here, a little bit more different sort of gesture control system, because obviously when you pull down you get this. You can't pull down from this side to see something else, you have to swipe up. Double tap that home button and you'll see your open applications. So we haven't got any anymore. That's disappeared nicely. It's installed with all the Apple applications. So with 32 gigabytes, you might need to uninstall some of these applications here, as they will take up storage. So let's jump into settings. Let's jump into general, jump into about. So with a capacity of 32 gigabytes, the actual available storage to use is 21.49. So that's quite a lot less, and that's because some of these applications are taking up a lot of storage, and the OS takes up a lot of storage. So please bear that in mind when you're making your decision. So with this iPod Touch 7th generation, you can go all the way up to 256 gigabytes. So it does give you room to maneuver in space if you so want to. This is the only iPod Touch now that will be updated to iOS 13 and all its great features, which I will bring shortly on the channel. I've got a new thing to show you very soon. So I'm really pleased Apple has updated this, because a lot of people still use the iPod Touch. So a couple of the key specs for you. It comes in 32, 128 or 256 gigabytes storage option. There's no external SD card. You can use cloud-based storage if you want to, like in iCloud, Google Drive or Dropbox, or whatever you want to use, which is really good. It weighs 88 grams, so it's quite sort of lightweight here. It's good to use on the go, I think, if you need to. Like I said, it's a 4-inch retina display with a multi-touch IPS technology built into it. It has a resolution of 1136 by 640 and a pixel density of 326. It has an 800:1 contrast ratio and a 500 CDM2 max brightness here. So let's just bring, see, I'm so used to my iPhone here, turn that all the way up. Yeah, it's quite bright. I'm still so used to actually using my iPhone and my gesture control on my iPhone. So it offers a finger resistant coating as well on the display, which helps from smudges and marks. But I bet if I already close it and have a look, oh no, it's quite good actually. It's quite well. So press here and then we're going to get our code to unlock, which is cool. So talking about the rear camera, single rear camera, 8 megapixels in size, an f2.4 5-element lens, autofocus and loads more features which we'll delve into and have a look at as well, and we'll see how well it performs. Video recording is available at 1080p at 30 frames per second and 3x zoom. Coming around to the front, you do have a Facetime camera built in there to that rather large sort of forehead, a top chin, which seems really big now compared to when we look at other devices. But the Facetime HD camera offers 1.2 megapixel photos, which is really not that good, which is f2.2 and 720p HD video recording. Not impressed. You have a backside illumination sensor, which is the whole screen will flash for you to get brightness. So it offers Bluetooth 4.1 and will work with AirPods. So Siri's on this device and is very handy. So let's check out Siri. Just press and hold. What's the weather today?
Here's the forecast for today.
So quick, responsive and very fluid, and that's thanks to the new processor in there. It's not new, but it's new compared to the previous model. So it has a headphone jack, which I think is really good. A lightning connection. We should have some of them cables still lying around for our iPhones. Even though the iPad has moved to USB-C, we're still frustrated and tied down with a lightning cable. Music playback time is up to 40 hours and video playback time is up to 8 hours. And we'll test that out and see how well that does. So bringing in the old iPod here on the left-hand side, this had the A8 chip with a 64-bit architecture. The display was a 4-inch retina display. The resolution is the same, pixel density is the same, CDM and the contrast ratio is the same, so it stays exactly the same as the new generation. Obviously a new chip is helpful as well, so that means we're going to get more power, more performance. You're going to get iOS 13. The Facetime camera on the old generation, 6th generation, was 1.2 megapixel photo, 720p HD video recording, and then on the back they called it an eyesight camera, which is 8 megapixels, and looking through the specs was exactly the same. Video recording, 1080p, so it just seems the processor inside has had that boost here, which is a good thing that adds to our performance with iOS 13 and also gives us AR games, and then also Apple Arcade is usable on this device, and all the features coming in iOS 13, which we'll show you very soon. If you have any questions or any queries, please let me know. So here in the UK, the starting cost for the iPod Touch 32GB model in all variant of colours, 6 of them like I said, is £199, so it's quite expensive, as you are getting an A10 chip which first come out in sort of 2017, or with the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. It's okay. For an iPod, it's going to be okay. You're going to be noticing a lot more speed, power, performance throughout iOS 12 and into iOS 13. Thanks always for watching. From me, Ricky, and the brand new iPod Touch 2019 7th generation. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.